Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Hwang Jinsol onto the stage.
It's very honored to speak before you today. I'm so excited to all of the people from all over the country, especially on the independent movement in Korea. It's a perfect day to speak about peace and justice today. And then just a short lecture for 50 minutes. But if you have any question and discussion, please feel free to raise your hand, and then I'm really welcome to interaction today. So today's topic is sustainable development for peace and mutual prosperity. I'm running the Bridges introduced, and then we're supporting the local entrepreneurs developing country in Korea. And then we focus on North Korean entrepreneurs and foreign workers for them to start business. Before starting the lecture, just briefly introduce why I studied the Bridge 5 years ago in Korea. Actually, I studied international relations and economics for my bachelor's, and then I was thinking why there is the war and poverty, and how can I solve this problem as just one student? Like you have those kind of the ideas and passion, but as one individual, how can we solve those kind of big agenda? Peace, justice, poverty, etc. And then, as a student, my conclusion was that at the time, everybody, even in this class, are very selfish. We are selfish. Because, I am a very most important person in this world. And my family is the most important people. And my society, my country, is the most important compared to others. So I think selfishness is not that wrong and bad one. It's very natural. However, I put one more word before selfishness, distorted selfishness. We can be selfishness, but if we sacrifice others' interests because to benefit my own benefit, that is the distorted selfishness. If I kill somebody, if I steal something in order to benefit myself, I think it's wrong. It's a selfishness, but it's a distorted. In the international society, you can see those kind of the distorted selfishness. I don't want to mention someone's name, but in some country, they sacrifice other countries' interest in order to keep their interest. So I think because of this distorted selfishness, there is corruption and social structure is not that healthy. In 2006, I had a chance to visit the United Nations at headquarters in New York, and there are many charts and explanation, but this chart is the attractive in my eyes. So about the budget of the weapon in the world. At that time, it's about $708 billion is the total budget of military expenditures. And as you can see, there is many small slices. It stands for the international budget to tackle the global agenda, such as poverty and gender issue, the infant mortality, climate change, human rights, those kind of issues. So we spend this small amount of the money to save the people's life and to tackle the global agenda. But this big amount of money we spend for military expenditure. So at the time, I was kind of shocked because I'm kind of optimistic and person. I thought that we must spend more money to save the life. But obviously through this chart, you can see that we spend much more money for the military expenditure, which we can kill the people. So I was very disappointed. And then many politicians compromised that we increase military expenditure every year in order to protect my country. But I think it's right, but at the same time it's wrong, because if we have the trust between the country, we don't need to increase military expenditure each year. And then we can spend those money to save the life. But however, yesterday, the other US and North Korean president, they met together, but the result was not that successful. Why? There are many reasons, but fundamentally there is no trust between them. Which one's interests need to support first? They keep discussing, but they could not make the conclusion because there is no trust. So, because this total selfishness, because there is no trust and respect each other, even though in the world we have abundant and sufficient resources to save the life, all life, to live in each one of individual. However, because of lack of trust, we spend a lot of money for something else. So even though the Bridge is a small social enterprise, it's at the same time non-profit organization in Korea, but we try to mobilize the funding from the individual. We want each individual citizen, they can make the small change, but if we collect them all, we can make a big change. That's why right after my master's degree, I studied environment and policy for my master's, and right after I was working for a consulting company for climate change issues to supporting government or the big company for the carbon trading issues. But government, private sector, big private sector, they always has a different interest, political interest. Sometimes big company, they always looking for the profit is the first agenda. So even though there are many ODA and many the CSR program, but sometimes the output is not that healthy. But each individual in this class, I think we have very pure motivation to change this society, international development. So that I decided to develop a crowdfunding platform to raise funds and to support the social entrepreneurs in developing countries. This is the picture I took in Uganda. The left picture on the left, they're like college students like you in the rural university in Uganda. And then right side, there are the farmers, a peanut farm. Do you think how we can define them as a beneficiary, participant, or partners, and social innovators? Raise your hand if you think them they are beneficiary. And participant, and partner, and social innovator. Yeah. Actually, we cannot define it as just one category. Sometimes today, you will be social innovator in the future if you start your own business to change society. But for now, probably you can just take my lectures so you can just beneficiary. So we cannot categorize one people as one category. In the different context, we can be different people. But in the international development society, in Korea especially, we have very biased opinion to see them. Many Koreans might see them as a beneficiary. So how can help them? That is the basic mindset of South Korean people. But with only those kind of perspective, I don't think we can make a sustainable development. We can help them as a beneficiary, but if you cannot draw their potential and the value, it's just one side support. It cannot be sustainable. So we recognize them as our partner and a potential social innovator. As you know, in the MDG for 2015, most of our agenda to focus on how to tackle the poverty. But from the SDG, we are more focusing on how to solve the global agenda as a partner, with a partnership. So we can call it as an inclusiveness business. We can make the local people involved in the business to solve the problem of the society. Even private sector, CSI is more focusing on how to help the people with a profit. But CSB, we are more focusing on how to creating shared value with the people in each society. So I think, considering people's values and potential, it's a global trend. It's not just my agenda. I think everybody will be interested in those kind of solutions to make the changes. So that is the basic starting point, that made me decide to start the bridge. And then how can I support? How can I collaborate with the local entrepreneurs? So there are two financial models to support the people. The first one is a donation to the poor. I think it's also very, very important to save the life. Also, there is another one is investment. If we can see the potential value, and we can make an investment. But let's go back to the first picture that I showed you. There are local students and then the small farmers. For them, which one is more appropriate? The donation or the investment? Investment. So let's assume that they are a real investor from the US. They have a lot of money. And as you know, the investor makes money by investing. That's their job, right? So they're looking for the unicorn. Unicorn means put the money, this amount of money, but will we make this amount of money as out of profit. But for the peanut farmer, they are big. Do you think we can expect higher profit rate out of them? No. And then there are college students. They might have a really good idea. However, they never have started their own business before. So it's very difficult to have a higher successful outcome. Even though they so that for the investors, honestly, it's not that attractive. Those kind of the people, the project is not attractive to make an investment. So donation, I think, is not appropriate. They're not poor or the vulnerable. They have a passion, idea. They're already doing their own business, but they need more like a financial support to start and to scale up their business. But investors, they're not that interested. So that for the people between these two, we need another financial vehicle. Sometimes you can call it an impact investment. We are more looking for social impacts rather than the financial impact. But still, even impact investors, if there is no financial impact, there's almost no impact investor who make investment for those kind of projects. So the bridge I created with our members another financial vehicle. We call it as an impact donation. It's really between donation and investment. Only for the people who has the passion, and even though there is not we cannot expect a higher interest rate, but we are still want to support them because through their own business they can create their job in the society and they can change their society. Even though it's not that innovative and fancy startup, but still it's valuable because they still create the value and change their own society. So the way to run it, we raise the funding through our crowdfunding platform and we deliver the money to the potential entrepreneurs. And after they become self-reliant, they need to redonate the principal to the bridge. We give the donation, and then after they become self-reliant, they redonate to the bridge, and then we use this money to support other local entrepreneurs.
가서 가다 발견하고 약속하듯이 성의보상
이거 말고. 또 yeah. So we are running our crowdfunding platform to supporting the entrepreneurs in about 25 countries, and we need more like partners because, as I mentioned, we need partners who has the same mission with respect and trust. And then it is not just one-way support. As I mentioned, we expect our entrepreneurs, put them to be self-reliant, and redonate to support other local entrepreneurs. So that it's a mutual growth, not just one way. And then in order to make this ecosystem, we are running this impact donation model. This is the screenshot of our website. As you see, there are many different projects. The circle, there's three colors. It means three main impact of each project. Human rights, education, environment, employment. There are many social impacts by the project. So that each individual in Korea, even in the United States, they can make $10, $20 impact donation so that they can support the local entrepreneurs they are interested in. So we are a nonprofit organization in Korea, also in the US. So we can give the tax deduction to the private sector and the each individual. Yeah, so we're also organizing social entrepreneurship program in each country with the partnership with the university. We developed a program, the faculty members, and we organized it. And then in Korea, there's Korean students, right? No? In Korea, there are many Korean students who would like to do their business in other country after they graduate. And in the US, it's the same. It's in the pictures at the bottom. They are MBA students in the George Washington University, and they would like to do international business right after their MBA. But they has no any connection with social entrepreneurs in developing countries. So even though they have an engineering skill, marketing skill, but they don't know the local needs. In Korea also, there are many young people who have a passion to change the world. But if they have just passion and technique, it's not enough. We need to understand local culture and market and even language. So I think UN SDG 17, you mentioned about partnership. Without partnership, it's not impossible to start a business in other countries. Because we don't know, as a Korean, we don't know other countries' language or culture, even market, government policy. So need to be very closely work together, collaborate together. If we have some skill, technology, or financing, we need to collaborate with local entrepreneurs to understand the local needs, so that we can minimize the cost when we start a business. Even in Korea, there are many SME, small medium-sized enterprise. They would like to expand their business in other country. Mostly in order to make the money, of course, because it's business. However, even in order to expand the business, for the small medium-sized enterprise, it's not easy. It's hard to find trustworthy local partners because they've never been there. So many SME contact us. How can they build trustful relationship with the local entrepreneurs and local government or university? So the bridge, we would like to become like a bridge between Korea and other countries. And in order to do this one, we need more people in other countries who we can trust. I think each individual in this class, I heard that you're from like 25 different countries, you can be a bridge between Korea and your country. Because there are a lot of things we need to solved by collaborating, but there is a lack of reach. There is the people who has the technique or money and idea, but there are not many people who can link them each other to maximize most efficient the business model with a social and financial impact. So I don't know each one of you, but I hope that it's not just a one-way Korean visit. In the future, we would like to keep the relationship, and I really hope you to be a good bridge between Korea and your country. The bridge we are really open, also to communicate each individual in this class, and please feel free to let me know if you have any collaborate ideas and things, and then I would like to discuss further later. Yeah, there are I prepared 3 examples. First one is the Noble Bridge in Rwanda. Any people from Rwanda here? Yeah, in Rwanda there are genocide, and then 2 different tribal, Tutsi and Hutu. And then now, it has stabilized. But one of the entrepreneurs, he still has a passion how to make the peace through the business. So after genocide, there are many single moms and the orphan. So these entrepreneurs teach them, train them how to make the handmade product using Rwanda resources, and they sell it to the Rwanda market. But their social impact is that these entrepreneurs hire 2 different races, 2 different tribes, Tutsi and Hutu, so that they work together. You know, we can talk about the peace by words and some sentence, but sometimes it's become too political. In this case, it's really difficult to solve. But I think doing a business is the best way to understand each other. By doing business, we understand how different we are. The bridge, you have the 8 members, but you can see that even though we are pursuing the one mission, but I realize that we are really different people. However, by doing the business, we understand there are many things in common. Tutsi and Hutu is 2 different tribal. However, when they work together, they realize that there are no barrier to work together. There are too many political and ideological problems. They realize that. So I think business, we can create the financial impact, but at the same time, we can create a lot of the social impact by learning each other. So in the future, I'm going to talking about North Korean entrepreneurs later, but doing a business together with them, it's very critical to understand our differences. Without those kind of the preparation, even though Korean Peninsula will be unified again, but there are a lot of conflict and misunderstanding, and it can be more the serious problem compared to now. And then is also today we are talking about the sustainable city. Many of them, they are living in the Kigali, which is the capital city of the Rwanda, and then we call them as the urban poor. So through this, the business model, these entrepreneurs create the job for the urban poor, and then compare, as you know, in developing countries, there are more like an economic gap in the urban area between the poor and the rich. So this type of the social entrepreneurs, they play the role to reduce this economic gap. One more example about in Nepal. It's about the rabbit. In Korea, it's not familiar with eating the rabbit, but these entrepreneurs, after earthquake, there are many unemployed, especially the women. but there is no job for them. And then the human trafficking is one of the very critical issues. So these entrepreneurs train the vulnerable woman to raise the rabbit, and the rabbit has a very high protein and less cholesterol, so that it can solve the problem of the starvation for them, and the rest of after they eating, they can sell it to the market, and then they can make it good dishes to sell it other people. So they're using our crowdfunding for the training and buying the equipment. And then the later part, I'm gonna talk about what we're doing in Korea. As I mentioned, we're supporting the North Korean entrepreneurs in South Korea and supporting the foreign workers for them to prepare the startup in Korea. When you think of the North Korean people, you can be, they are vulnerable. We need to help them to be self-reliant. So that many of the youth in South Korea, there is the more negative perspective to see the unification, because we need to sacrifice too many economic things. However, we are more focusing on the potential and the value of North Korean entrepreneurs. Not every North Korean people has the capable to start a business, but there is some of them. They are very capable and passionate to start a business. But in Korean society, we have never seen those Korean entrepreneurs before. We only see many NGOs to support their human rights and education and other agenda, but no entity to see them as entrepreneurs. But in order to prepare the education, we would like to see what they have and how can we collaborate each other. In Korea, the Korean people, they are more, they are living in urban area, Incheon, Seoul, those things. And then it's the same, even though more than 70% people in urban area, but economic gap between the rich and poor, most of those Korean defectors, they are poor, and the economic gap is huge. So that in Korean government, we have a policy to hire the private company. They need to hire some North Korean people, and then there is some credit. But many of the North Korean people, when they start to work in Korean company, it's hard to adjust. We look almost same, but we do not use a similar word vocabulary, so that there are a lot of miscommunication, and culturally there are many differences. So they feel many sense of inferiority when they work in Korean company. So that is one of the issue in Korean society need to solve. So 2 years ago, I met more than 30 North Korean entrepreneurs in South Korea. I was not sure if they are really capable to start their own business and how do they running their own business. But after I have an in-depth interview with the 30 North Korean entrepreneurs, I realized that they have a really good component of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs, they need many skills, but these North Korean entrepreneurs, they are so patient. Even they never give up. Even though they fail, they start again. They cross the border to find a new opportunity. They take the risk, their life, risk to cross the border. So they are very patient and consistent and passionate. So that is one of the components entrepreneurs need to prepare. However, they have a lot of difficulties when they run the business. First of all, it is really difficult to understand Korean accounting system, Korean policy, and to the marketing. In North Korea, there are some entrepreneurs, they did their business in North Korea, They was doing really well, but most of the business is offline based. But in South Korea, it should be online based. They don't know how to switch this. They have really good sense of doing the business, but they don't have those kind of skill. So, the which we recruit citizen fellows who have a passion for education and has some expertise and skill. For the computer skill should be okay, and accounting, and how to manage the stock, those kind of things. So we link those kind of Korean citizens to the North Korean entrepreneurs company so that they start to work together. So last year, out of 30, we selected 4 North Korean entrepreneurs and we support them intensively. With the Google Campus and ASEAN Foundation, they also support us with a mentorship program, and Boston College, they research this type of the program. So out of 4, we selected 2 entrepreneurs for our crowdfunding platform currently. And then we send one our staff to the North Korean company so that they currently work together. It's kind of joint venture, not legally, but in a year, we are considering how to make the joint venture with the South Korean company and North Korean company together. There are a lot of conflict between me and North Korean entrepreneurs. It's more than I expected. Seriously, I don't understand why they respond those kind of things in this context, but there is the real things we're gonna see when we unify in the future in North Korea. It's not because they are wrong, I'm right, because we are different. But how can we understand those kind of different, and how can we overcome those kind of conflict? If we do not have the trust to see the unification of Korean Peninsula, we might not overcome those kind of the conflict. But at least North Korean entrepreneurs and we have the respect and the trust. So that there are a lot of conflicts still ongoing process, but we know that we need to overcome this conflict. It's very practical. It's not just fancy word. We have to be one company. We need to, we can be more like a promising the future. It's right, but we have to overcome a lot of different stages in order to reach this goal. So I think the North Korean defectors and entrepreneurs, they are a really good case for us to practice how to collaborate each other. Could you show them? I'm gonna show you one of our crowdfunding video.
약수라든지 송이버섯이라든지 이런 걸 중국에다 갖다 주고 오토바이로 배달하는 일을 했었어요. 지자체에서 일을 해보고 인상 재배하는 좀 더 의미 있는 일이 뭐가 없을까 하고 이것저것 생각하다 보니까 또 연습 수업장에 시간이 중국에서 필요로 하는 거를 우리는 갖다 줄 수가 있어요. 한국에서 필요로 하는 거를 우리는 가져올 수가 있어요. 그게 어떤 구조로 가능하냐? 저희는 회사원들 대부분이 탈북민 그리고 중국 정통 한족 분들이 있고 조선족 우리 교포라고 그분들하고 한데 몰려 있는 회사입니다. 이 문화가 되기 때문에 교류가 되고 이 사람들을 이해하는 눈이 달라지는 우리 가운데 모여 있는 이 사람들만으로도 작은 통일이라고 생각해요. 22살 되던 해에 한국으로 처음으로 와서 시작점이 분명하게 다르구나 그걸 인정하는 게 쉽지가 않았어요. 탈북민이고 탈북민이라는 사실은 탈북자라고 해가지고 그런 그 타이틀이 붙어있다 보니까 이 사람은 뭘 해도 못할 것이다 뭘 해도 약간 어려울 것이다 그 보이지 않는 막이 너무 두껍게 쌓여있는 것 같아서 많이 힘들었어요. 탈북민 이제 단방명 세대로 와서 우리 위치를 세워달라 우리 입지를 세워달라 이 뜻이 아니고요. 이런 사람들이 있어요. 그냥 다르게 보지 말아주세요. 이렇게 마음을 품고 사는데 이런 건 안 하고 가만히 있으면 상대방한테 제가 다가가기를 거부하는 거나 똑같은 이야기 시간을 쪼개서라도 이런 굉장히 나가려고 했습니다. 정말 진심으로 원하는 이 크라우드 펀딩을 통해서 영상을 보고 있는 여러분들한테 더 다가가기 위함이고 조금이라도 우리 사업을 좀 이해를 해주셨으면은 그 이해 토대로 좀 협력을 하고 싶어요. 좀 저를 협조가 아니라 협력 단계를 넘어가고 싶어요. 자원통일이라는 것을 이루어내기 위해서 여러분들도 같이 한 걸음 동참하고 싶다면은 저희한테 지원을 해주십시오. 그러면 우리가 그 일을 만들어낼 수 있을 것 같습니다.
As you see, these North Korean defectors, technically, entrepreneurs, he doesn't need any support. He needs more collaboration. He would like to show them he can be the self-reliant by himself, by collaboration with you. And then if more Korean people and the more international society knows those kind of the North Korean entrepreneurs, we can change our perspective to North Korean defectors. So I really hope you guys can share those kind of video clip and crowdfunding the story with your own society in your country, so that many people can have a different perspective and balanced mindset to see the effectors. We would like to see their value and the potential. And then the main social impact of them is that they can hire other vulnerable North Korean defectors. Previously, as I mentioned, even North Korean defectors, they will be hired in the Korean company. It's really difficult to adjust. And then there are always the barrier to promote because of their origin. So they feel very uncomfortable. They feel a lot of inferiority. But even though these North Korean entrepreneurs, this company, salary might be lower than South Korean company, but people working there feel more comfortable. Even though they fight each other, but it's okay because they understand why they speak like this way in their culture. So I hope these North Korean entrepreneurs scale up their business more and then hire more other North Korean defectors so that they help them, North Korean defectors, to settle down Korean society more stably, so that in the future they can move to another company. But first, when they just move to South Korea, this North Korean company play a very important role to keep them in the safe zone. And then in the future, let's assume that North Korea government, they open the border to economic collaboration with South Korea. And as you know, currently many Korean company and the financial institution, they are preparing to go to North Korea. When they open, many people will go there to make the money, or sometimes to establish the hospital and some other education, the school. Many people will go there for many reasons. The problem is that no South Korean people understand North Korea. We've never been there before. We just know them through media. It's a very partial, things to see the North Korea. So unintentionally, we're gonna make a lot of mistakes. But I see that these North Korean entrepreneurs, they are the only one who understand North Korea and South Korea. They know how to do business in South Korea, but they still have a deep understanding how to work in North Korea. So I believe they are really important, significant bridge between South and North Korea in the future. And then today we are talking about sustainable city and community. Who can design the sustainable city of North Korea in the future? South Korean people go there to develop real estate, the company, factory, many things. However, if we do not have sufficient knowledge and understanding of North Korea, unintentionally we're going to give a lot of damage on them. And then compared to now, there are more serious distrust. So I think we can change our the perspective to North Korea. For now, the people who are just struggling to settle down in South Korea, but in the future, they can be a very strong driving force to link South and North Korea. They are only one. So in order to design the sustainable city and the community, we need it. We need them. And then even foreign workers, sometimes we treat them in not a good way. But I know that they are very talented and they even understand Korean society and language and market. And then when they go back to their country, they can be really good bridge between Korea and their country. One of the Myanmar, the foreign workers, he speaks Korean very fluently, and after he working in a factory, he has a good relationship with the factory, the chief. And then when he go back to Myanmar, he start their own business with that factory. So we support them financially. Also in Myanmar, the teak, they call it like a wood, type of the wood is the best quality in the world. So from last year, Korean company, they start to import this type of the wood to Korea. And he is the company in the Myanmar. So because he can understand Korean the culture and has a good communication skill with the Korean people, he has the good business model. And then Korean people also have a many benefit, through these foreign workers. But sometimes we just consider foreign workers as poor. They just make money, a couple of years they go back. But I think it's wrong. Even Korea, we were very poor, as you know. And then many of our father's generation, they went to Saudi Arabia, the Middle East. They make a lot of the construction the business there as workers, foreign workers. And we make a lot of money there. And then out of this experience and learning the skill of the construction, the Korea now, we have those kind of economic success. So I think the poor is not that things we need to shameful. We can develop. Just developing is not something we need to show off. It's just different. Sometimes we are focusing on more social impact compared to financial impact. So each people, each country, each society, they have a different value and different things we are seeking for. So when we recognize and respect those kind of difference, and then when we have the passion to collaborate as partners, we can create a different type of sustainable development model. I really hope each one of you here have those kind of passion, and during that I can see many seminars and discussion, you can have those kind of good collaboration, even though you will dismiss a couple of days later, but keep contacting each other and think about how to create more sustainable and healthy way to collaboration as a partnership. Yeah, so we're also working with the international student. I think this is all my the presentation, and if you have a question, I'm gonna get questions.
So I think due to time constraint, we have one or two questions available this time around. So, and also we have, networking time break as well. So you can freely talk, you can ask. So, for those of you who have any question, please raise your hand. There you go.
I wanted to ask that, from whom do you raise the funds? What kind of individuals do you raise the funds from? From whom do you raise the funds? From, what kind of individuals? you raise the funds?
From whom I raise the funds. So currently 85% is Korean citizen, that they just access the internet, but from the English spoken country, because our homepage is Korean and English. So any country using the English, they can come to our homepage and make the funding. So another 50%, that like 10% the US and other English spoken country. But even Africa and the Southeast Asia, some of them, they use the PayPal and they make the impact donation.
And how did you advertise, especially in the beginning, because you might find it difficult because you don't have the networking yet? Probably it's easier now, but how did you begin that?
Advertise our
Yeah, yes.
Actually, I had the opportunity to make those type of lecture to the government officials and to study master's degree in South Korea. So I keep promoting to them to explain the Greek integration model, and they become our country trustee. So they are representative of the Greek in their country. So they can help us to promote our model to their country. So University Incubating Center or the incubating private incubating center, director. So that is the main way we are promoting our funding platform to other countries.
One more question over there.
And then the birthday, we have the birthday event. So anybody who has a birthday like next week, they can create their own birthday campaign. And then I would like to support these kind of entrepreneurs to celebrate my birthday, and then you can click on our website. You can share this message using your SNS, like Twitter or other Facebook, etc. So the girlfriend can be interested in those kind of the platform. So that there are some other the media that we can use, in order to promote advertise our platform. So if you have a question, I will let you know. I'm gonna email you if you have any specific things, and let me know your email. I'm gonna give you detailed information. So.
First of all, I would like to thank you very much for your amazing speech and inspiring presentation. And my question is, I just wanted to know what was the response from the beneficiaries or the social innovators you just mentioned, and how they were willing to help other people because they were helped by the bridge. How willing they were to help other people, because you mentioned that once they are part of the bridge and they get the investment for their projects, they tend to give back to others.
Yeah, it's like kind of complicated to explain, but the reason our entrepreneurs like us because we consider them as our potential entrepreneurs to be self-reliant by themselves. So they have the strong passion to redonate to us as a donor, not beneficiary. We give the money as a donation, but they can be our donors when they redonate to us.
So it's optional for them?
It's optional, so it's no legal binding. So that's why it is not that traditional donation, because donation is just one way, and that's it. Investment, they should be returned. But for us, there is no legal binding interaction. We just ask them, when they become self-reliant, we really want you to kind of redonate, but we have the agreement. It's not legally binding, but we need the agreement. So within 2 years, they need to pay back, like every 6 or 3 months. In the agreement, there is the specific date. So we keep updating and asking them to redonate. But if they want to kind of delay, we allow them. So for now, the redonate rate is like 60%. So I think it's good. But for the investor side, oh, no way, like that. But for donor side, I think it's okay. But our goal is to supporting, their business, not fully repay back. So it's depending on how to see them. It's depending on their perspective.
Thank you, because my question was more of the concept, not the money itself, because you changed the whole concept of helping others and empowering them. So I think that's quite amazing.
Yeah.
감사합니다.
네, 고맙습니다. And then one thing is that when they repay back, like more than 7%, they have chance to get an investment. because we have the networking, the impact investors in Korea and in US. They are impact investors, but when a condition is that they have to redonate more than 80%, 70%. And then we guarantee that they are sustainable business, so we recommend them to US impact investors. So 2 out of our the local entrepreneurs, they have chance to get an investment from the US impact investment and incubating, they participated in the incubating program. So there are like another vehicle, we link them to other things.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.